Okay, good morning all. Today we are going to complete the problem already we have started in the last class. So before going to that, first of all, I want to say that tomorrow first hour, um, so DSR will take the, Suresh sir will take the hour, and on Saturday first hour I will take one more hour. So with that hour we shall try to complete this fourth chapter also. Okay. So meanwhile, regarding the first assignment is concerned, you please try to submit as early as possible, soft copy. Okay. So, but you please maintain that hard copy also. Whenever you come to the college, obviously you need to submit the same. So later on the verification of soft copy and hard copy, then we will award the marks. Okay. So by the next week, I shall give you the second assignment also. Why? Because we are at the uh, starting of the fifth chapter. Okay. So as per the instructions received by our HOD, and we are also giving you the second assignment also. So before coming to the college, you need to submit. You need to submit the soft copies, scanned soft copies. Okay. I'm asking you the scanned soft copies only. Already, I have given you my email also. So you please send me the email with your register number so that I can be able to save your assignments with your register number only. Okay. Okay. Now, let's come to our actual problem. That's what already we have started in the last class. Just wait a moment. I'm going to share my screen here. Right. Now, so in the last class, already I have given you some problem, and then you have been asked to determine what is IF double dash. And the second one is find IF double dash in circuit breaker B. C is momentary current rating of the circuit breaker. Currents to be interrupted, or current to be interrupted by a circuit breaker in 5 cycles, right? In that aspect, already we have solved the first problem, that is the first case, that is IF double dash. Okay, already we have seen the equivalent circuit that corresponds to the given single line diagram, and from that single line diagram, already we have determined what is IG double dash, what is IM1 double dash, what is IM2 double dash, and we have located that fault point also. So as far as that particular fault point is concerned, there are three incoming currents. The first one is from generator, and second one is from motor one section, and third one is from motor two section. All those are incoming currents when we consider, when we refer that particular reference point. That means the fault point. So that's why directly have added all the currents to obtain the IF in per unit value. So IF double dash or IF is equal to 11.66 per unit. That's what we got. Okay. So in order to convert that per unit to the original values, that means the actual values, which is expressed in amperes. In order to have that, first of all, we are going to calculate the base value. So the base value is given by 874.7. That's already we got the same answer. So when you multiply that per unit with the base value, you will get the required fault current, which is expressed in terms of amperes. Okay, so 10,199.8 amperes. That's what we got. So we have stopped the last class discussion at that particular point. Right now, you are also having, and you have been asked to determine the remaining three cases also. Now, the second one is find IF double dash in circuit breaker D. So find IF double dash in circuit breaker D. So second one is, so IF double dash in circuit breaker D. So how do you determine this one? Circuit breaker D. Okay. Just you please remember one point. Even though for our convenience we have converted all the values of different ranges to per unit values, but finally what our intention is, we need to express all the results in terms of original values. In terms of original value, that means suppose if you are expressing the voltage in per unit, means obviously at the end of your calculation you have to express what is the original value of the voltage. Okay. Similarly, current also. Similarly, current also. But initially, for processing or for analyzing the system, if the system contains different equipments with different ratings and different specifications, it is somewhat difficult to analyze that behavior of that particular type of system. So that's why we are considering the per unit values, and we are going to express all the values or all the ranges directly in terms of per unit values instead of taking the original values. Okay. So here in this particular case, IF double dash in circuit breaker D, already we got what is the total fault current which is flowing through the fault path. Okay. So we are going to consider the same fault current, and we are going to take the difference between the current which is flowing through the circuit breaker D and the fault current, right? Now you see here. So just the case one, we have obtained the total fault current IF double dash is equal to 10,199.8 amperes minus. So you just go through this. You have been asked to determine particularly circuit breaker D. He has mentioned that thing. What is the fault current, or what is the fault shade that is going through circuit breaker D? Is it not right? Is it? Yes, it is correct. Yes, it is correct. Now you see here. You remember one point. Circuit breaker D. So you just go through the equivalent circuit. You just go through the equivalent circuit. I will explain the process. I will explain the procedure. The amount of current that is trying to flow in circuit breaker D. See, after the circuit breaker D, you are having fault. After the circuit breaker D, you are having certain fault, right? Correct. Next. So you have been asked to determine what is the amount of current, that is flowing through this. So now you see here. Just you see, simply see here. I am drawing a equivalent circuit for your understanding only. For your understanding only. So this is the equivalent circuit we have seen in the yesterday's class. I'm sorry. Uh, so here you will have one circuit breaker, and here you will have the circuit breaker D, and later you will have the fault reactance. So similarly this one, and this will be closed. So this is the case. So here it is connected to ground. Similarly here it is also connected to ground. So fault is at this point. Fault is, so this is the total IF double dash. Already we have determined in the first case. First case. Now here it is the current which is flowing through the motor 2 section, IM2, and this is the current which is flowing from IM1 section. IM1 section. Okay. Now you please see this. Particularly, you are asked to determine what is the amount of fault current that is trying to flow in circuit breaker D. That means D. So the current which is entering into this direction, the current which is entering into this direction, that will flows in this fault path. So this is the circuit breaker D. So this is one current and this is another current. IM1 double dash, similarly IG double dash. So the combination of these two currents is trying to flow this circuit breaker D. Okay. So directly you can consider that one 6.66 plus 2.5, 2.5, or you can directly take that. If you subtract, so what is the total fault current? The total fault current IF double dash is equal to IG dash plus IM1 double dash plus IM2 double dash. So if you take the difference between this one, total fault current minus the fault current which is coming from the motor 2 section. So 2.5, so sorry, 2.15. So 2.5 or 2.15, yes, 2.5 current. So 2.5 per unit. multiplied by 874.7. So 874.7 amperes. See, this can be solved in two ways. The first one is either you need to add 6.66 plus 2.5, okay, multiplied by 874.7, or you can all directly consider that the total fault current IF double dash minus, you can take the difference between IF double dash and IM2. Directly you can get the same answer. If you want, you can verify that also. 6.66 plus 2.5 multiplied by 874.7. Okay, so in that case also you will get the same answer. So finally the answer is 8013.05 amperes. 05 amperes. So this is the amount of fault current that is trying to flow through the circuit breaker D. Okay, so circuit breaker D is here. You should not consider this IM2. Why? Because this is not the current that is trying to flow in this. Why? Because the fault is after the circuit breaker D. So directly this current is entering into this fault path. So you can take the difference between the total fault current minus this one. Obviously, you will get the fault current which is trying to flow in the circuit breaker D. Now the third one is momentary current rating of the circuit breaker. So here particularly in the circuit diagram, in the single line diagram, he mentioned only the circuit breaker D. Okay, he does not mention anything about the remaining circuit breaker. Okay, just you forget about the circuit breaker connected in motor 1 section, and you please carefully observe that the circuit breaker D which is connected in motor 2 section, and you have been asked to determine the momentary current rating of that circuit breaker. So circuit breaker D. So how do you determine the momentary current rating? So already we have seen while discussing about the circuit breaker ratings theory topic, when we consider that in order to obtain the momentary current rating, you just multiply the subtransient current by a factor of 1.6. So what is that subtransient current that is trying to flow in circuit breaker D? So momentary current rating is equal to, so momentary current rating momentary current rating is equal to, you can directly multiply the initial subtransient current. So subtransient current that is trying to flow in circuit breaker D is 8013.05. So you can multiply that subtransient current with 1.6. You need to get the momentary current rating of that circuit breaker D. So 1.6 multiplied by 8013.05. So 05. So what you will get? So you will get 1280.88 amperes. 0.88 amperes. Okay. So in this way, you are going to determine the momentary current rating of the circuit breaker. That is equal to 1.6 multiplied by 8013.05. You will get 12,820.88 amperes. See, in almost all the cases, I am expressing all the values in terms of a nominal, normal value. So amperes, normal units. Next, the last one is, you have been asked to verify the current which is to be interrupted by the circuit breaker in 5 cycles. So by the circuit breaker in 5 cycles. So circuit breaker here means D, circuit breaker D. Okay. So the fault current that is to be interrupted. Now you just see it. So here, in order to determine this, first of all, here there are two current paths are available. and this is the fault path. So when we consider this, so this reactance and this reactance both, so you can neglect this one. Why? Because this does not matter. If you want, you can consider that thing also, but whenever you are going to consider that, so you please verify, you please neglect this part. Okay, so this reactance J zero point 0.5, so and similarly J zero point 0.4, these two are gets connected in parallel. So obviously 1 by J zero point 0.15, J zero point 0.15 plus 1 by J zero point 0.4, J zero point 0.4 multiplied by, so this is a parallel combination. So multiplied by the base current 874, 874.7, 874.7. Okay, now this has to be multiplied by, already I gave you the simple table. So circuit breaker speed in cycles and the multiplication factor. Here, in the given problem, you have been asked to determine the current to be interrupted by a circuit breaker in 5 cycles. So 5 cycles means corresponding to 5 cycles, what is the multiplication factor? So 1.1. So 1.1. So if you multiply all these things, you will get 8017.76 amperes. 76 amperes. Right? Is it not? So here the solution for the problem has been completed now. So we have determined the total fault current, and we have determined the fault current that is flowing through the circuit breaker D, and we have determined the momentary current rating of the circuit breaker, and we have determined the current to be interrupted by a circuit breaker in 5 cycles. Okay, so these type of problems are very very important. You may expect these problems in your external as well as internal examinations also. This looks like very simple, but when we are focusing on how to solve the problem, obviously that will give you some idea. Okay, so in my point of view, almost all the problems except the load flow solutions. See, load flow solutions problems are also very easy, but I'm not going to say that that is very very easy. So you need to focus much on those load flow solution problems. So except that chapter, the problems belongs to all the chapters are very very easy in my point of view. Okay. Next, we are going to see another problem. You just please note down the answers. At least you note down the answers. Later, you can analyze. Okay, is it clear? Right. Now, we are going to see another important problem. This is also very important case. Please try to concentrate. See, it is very easy to complete the syllabus, but that is not my intention. You need to understand the concepts first. Okay, you please focus on the concepts, not only the syllabus content, syllabus coverage. Under these circumstances, I shall able to complete the syllabus in time. That too, this is online version. That means it is very easy also. If I show you the PowerPoint presentation, obviously it becomes very easy. One day, in 1 or 2 classes, I shall be able to complete the chapter. Okay, but you won't get any information at all, right? Now, the next one is, please note down. Just wait a moment. Please note down this problem. So this is bus number 1, this is bus number 2, and here we don't know the value of the reactance. So this is 1 at an angle 0, generator 1, and generator 2 1 at an angle 0. This is 0.25. So this is a transformer of the reactance 0.12. Now this is the transmission line. Transmission line section. And now the reactance is given by 0.28. Reactance is given by 0.28. And similarly, you are also having a short circuit at this particular stage. So ISC, short circuit current is already given, that is 5 per unit. 5 per unit. Now the problem has been completed. So you are asked to determine what is X. What is X? So there I have put some question mark. That means you are able to complete that one. So finally you are asked to verify what is X here. What is X here? So this is the system. That's what he has given, and particularly has mentioned the two sources voltages in terms of per units. That is 1 at an angle 0, and generator 1 section reactance is given, that is 0.25, and you are asked to verify what is the generator 2 reactance. So these generator 1 section and 2 section is connected in series, connected by a transformer which is of having a rating of reactance is equal to 0.12, and at bus number 1 you are also having some short circuited part, and the short circuited current is given, that is equal to 5 per unit. The transmission line is already given, so the transmission line reactance is equal to 0.28. Okay. Now, suppose if the problem is looks like this, how do you solve, and how do you analyze, and how do we find the value of X? So these are the questions that are rising in our mind. Okay. You just forget about all those things. My sincere suggestion is, whenever you are getting this type of single line diagrams, first of all, you try to convert that single line diagram to a suitable equivalent circuit. Then obviously, definitely you will get some idea. When you convert the given single line diagram to a equivalent circuit, definitely you may get some idea. Why? Because obviously in the equivalent circuit, either we are applying KCL or either we are applying KVL. Okay, so we people have sufficient information regarding those concepts. Why? Because already we have learned those concepts in the earlier semesters. Okay, so in this case, now I am going to convert this single line diagram into a equivalent circuit. Now you please see here. So just this is 0.25, J 0.25, and 1 at an angle 0. Okay. Now this is connected with a transformer reactance. So similarly at the terminals of this, you will have the fault current. Now you see here, and you will have the transmission line reactance. Similarly, the second source reactance. Now this is the case. So this is the fault IF. Is it not? So this is J transformer reactance J.12, and similarly this is J.28, J.28, and this is Jx, and 1 at an angle 0. So this is the equivalent circuit. Now definitely you will get some idea. So how to determine the value of X? Simple. This is a looks like very simple. See, now I can convert this to why, because these two reactances are known to you. So definitely you can add these two reactances. So if you add those two reactances, what you will get? 0.28 plus 0.12. 0.12. Obviously you will get 0.4, right? So this is J.4, J.4. Okay. Now the fault current, one fault current is entering into this direction and another fault current is entering from this direction. Already he has given that the short circuit current, so that means ISC, this is ISC, you can take this as ISC. So ISC is equal to sum of the two currents. Here I am going to apply KCL here, nodal analysis, KCL here. So the first current is given by ISC is equal to 1 at an angle 0 by J.25. This is the current which is entering in this direction. So let us consider this as I1. So I1 is equal to 1 at an angle 0, 1 at an angle 0 by J.25 plus. Now this is also another current. These two currents are entering currents, not the leaving current. So that's why the sign of the two currents are equal. Okay, sign of the two currents are equal. So some of the incoming currents are is equal to some of the outgoing currents. So here outgoing current is ISC, incoming currents are I1 and I2. Now how can you determine I2? How can you determine I2? So similarly, like the I1, in this case also you need to add J X plus 0.4. Okay, 1 at an angle 0 divided by J X plus 0.4. Now this ISC already given, that is equal to 5 per unit. Please do remember that this ISC is already given, that is equal to 5 per unit. Now the only unknown parameter here is X. So that is the question he has asked you to verify what is the value of X. Now simplify the given equation and determine the X value. Okay. So if you simplify that, obviously you will get X is equal to 0.6 per unit. X is equal to 0.6 per unit. This is the final answer. Verify this. Don't try to simply copy the answer. You just verify the given, the given above step IS is equal to 1 by J.25 plus 1 by J X plus 0.4 is equal to 5. If you simplify that expression, obviously you will get 0.6 per unit. X is equal to 0.6 per unit. So I will give you one more exercise problem. You just try to solve this problem at your homes. You please verify the answers also. Okay. Completed? Is it completed? Please note down this. So I shall give you the homework problem, exercise problem. You please try to solve that. See, even though the time does not permit, definitely I am going to solve each and every one problem belongs to every concept for your sake. Okay, please try to understand my situation also. I may not be able to solve even a lot of problems in these particular classrooms, online classroom, that to online teaching. Okay. Now the next one is similarly in this case also you have been asked to verify the reactance. Please. See, this is the problem. Okay. So G1, G2, G3, G4. So this is X. Okay. Now this is a fault. And now for all the generators, the rating of all the generators are equal to same 50 MVA equal capacities. 50 MVA MVA 11 kV 15%. Here the reactance is expressed in terms of percentages. Okay, so the rating of all the generators, generator 1 to generator 4 are equal, and the specifications of each and every generator is 50 MVA, 11 kV and 15%. Now see the text here. Case 1, find the fault level with X is equal to 0. Next, second, what is X if the fault level is equal to 800 MVA? What is X if the fault level is 800 MVA? 800. Now in this particular problem, you are asked to verify two cases. First one is find the fault level with X is equal to 0. That means indirectly he is saying that consider X is equal to 0. Now the second one is what is X if the fault level is 800 MVA? Simple. Now in the I will give you some hint. You can solve this problem at your homes. So first of all, any problem, the single line diagram has been given, and you can convert that single line diagram to its equivalent circuit. So the generator equivalent circuit is replaced with a voltage source in series with a reactance. That means you are having two generators are connected in series. Another two generators are two generators are connected in parallel. Another two generators are also connected in parallel, and those two combinations are gets connected in series with the X. That is very important here. Okay, later you can substitute the voltages. You can take the proper base values, 50 MVA and 11 kVA as the base values. Why? Because all the ratings of all the generators are equal. So that's why directly MVA base is equal to 50 and KV base is equal to 11. So directly you can consider that. Suppose if X is equal to 0, obviously in that particular case, directly there exists a short circuit between generator 1, generator 2 section, generator 3 and generator 4 section. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, problem is very, very simple. So first generator 1 section is replaced with the equivalent circuit this way. Similarly, generator 2 section. Similarly, generator 3 section. Similarly, generator 4 section. All are gets connected in parallel, right? All are gets connected in parallel. In the first case, here X is equal to 0. In the first case, here X is equal to 0. So directly there exists a short circuit in between these two terminals. So these two are parallel, these two are parallel. Now you are asked to verify what is IF. So here it is IF. This is the equivalent circuit for the first case if the fault level with X is equal to 0. Please try to understand. So 0, J.15, and this is same as that of all the reactances. So all the reactances are J.15. Similarly, all the voltage sources are 1 at an angle 0. So this is for case 1, equivalent circuit for case 1. Now equivalent circuit for case 2 is somewhat different. So directly you have been asked to verify what is the fault current level. So what is you are asked to determine what is IF in this particular case. Next one is, so generator 1 section, generator 2 section are gets connected in parallel. So here you will have X that is connected in series with the parallel combination of generator 3 and the generator 4. Now please try to observe the difference between the equivalent circuits of the two cases. Here, now this is the fault. See, you should not have this X at this particular equivalent circuit. Why? Because in the problem itself, he has mentioned that X is equal. You consider that X is equal to 0. Okay. Now this is the second equivalent circuit. So in this case also, you have been asked to verify, or you have been asked to determine what is the value of X. This is very simple. Okay. So please try to solve this problem. You may expect this problem in your internal examination also. Thank you. So that's all for today. If you are having any doubts, you please raise your doubts. It's already 10:45. So if you are having any doubts, you please raise your doubts. Otherwise, you just leave. Thank you.